They say that every day is a school day, but sometimes it feels like some lessons are more important than others. It was just an ordinary day for most people in this town. They went about their daily routines without a single worry in the world. But little did they know that this day would go down in history as the day their hero was born. Meet Brian. He had been working as a firefighter for over 15 years. He loved his job and was well respected by his colleagues and the townspeople. But one day, while fighting a fire, Brian's life would change forever. He and his team were sent to an apartment building where a fire had broken out. As soon as he arrived at the scene, Brian knew this was no ordinary fire. Flames were everywhere. People were running around in panic, not knowing what to do. And worst of all, there were children trapped on the top floor, and their parents were too afraid to go up there and get them. Without hesitation, Brian sprang into action. He grabbed his oxygen tank and charged into the burning building. The heat was intense, making it hard to breathe, and the smoke was so thick he could barely see. But he pressed on, driven by the thought of those innocent children. He managed to reach the top floor, but the stairs were on fire, and the only way to get outside was through the burning hallway. With the air tank almost empty, he had only one chance to get out. And then suddenly, right in front of him, the ceiling gave way and the burning beams fell right in front of him. There was no way he could get out now. Just as he began to lose hope, he remembered his training. He took a deep breath, dropped to the floor, and crawled towards the nearest window. When his colleagues arrived at the scene, they were shocked to find the burning beams blocking the entrance. They tried everything they could think of to get in, but it was no use. It seemed as if Brian had vanished into thin air. They searched for hours, but there was no sign of him anywhere. Meanwhile, Brian had managed to crawl out of the building and make it to a safe place. But the ordeal had taken its toll on him. He was severely dehydrated and had serious injuries on his hands and face. But despite his pain, he was alive. When the townspeople heard that Brian had saved the children, they were filled with gratitude and admiration. They cheered and applauded as he was carried away from the building. For many of the townspeople, he had become a true hero. But the story doesn't end there. After recovering from his injuries, Brian returned to work, but he was a changed man. He realized that his actions had not only saved the children, but had also taught him a valuable lesson about courage, quick thinking, and perseverance. He knew that he wasn't just a firefighter. He was a role model for others. From that day on, Brian became even more dedicated to his job. He trained harder, studied more, and pushed himself to be the best firefighter he could be. He also took on a new mission to inspire others to be their best selves and to never give up in the face of adversity. As for the children he had saved, they visited him often, sharing stories about their lives and thanking him for his bravery. They grew up knowing that they owed their lives to this one man who had risked everything to save them. Brian's story became a local legend, passed down from one generation to the next. And it taught everyone who heard it that heroes come in all shapes and sizes and that it takes just one person to make a difference. So what can we learn from Brian's story? Well, first of all, we learn that it's important to be brave and courageous when faced with danger. Even when things seem impossible, we should never give up. Secondly, we learn that it's important to be quick thinking and resourceful. In emergencies, every second counts, and knowing what to do can save lives. Finally, we learn that perseverance is key. No matter how difficult things may seem, we should always keep trying and never lose hope. So remember, no matter who you are or what you do, you have the power to make a difference. You have the power to be a hero.